today. We have a couple recipes I'm going to demonstrate. I always pick recipes that are basic enough that you're going to want to try them at home, not too complicated, not too many ingredients that you'll have to go digging for. Because I know I'm a busy person as well, that kind of is a turn off. And I think eating healthy has to be difficult or has to have a lot of complicated ingredients. So that's kind of how I pick the recipes that I'm making for you today. Didn't want you to see one of them ahead of time because I know one of the ingredients would make you have an instant turn off sometimes. I always say at least give it a try, okay? So at least give something a try so you can benefit health-wise and taste-wise. All right? So we're going to start with dessert. Dessert first, sound good to everybody?
Yeah, promise.
All right. So this pie that we're making, of course, we treat ourselves every now and then, and who doesn't like a little bit of chocolate, right? So what I've used in this recipe, though, is dark chocolate because there are added benefits to dark chocolate health-wise. So in this recipe, it just says chocolate chips, but again, you might take note that we're using dark chocolate chips, okay, for this. So we need to melt these down a little bit, so I'm just going to stick these in the microwave and get that started. Just about a minute, and then we'll stir it. This is, and everything that I buy here is from your commissary here on base, so that all these ingredients are available to you. And believe me, I'd never seen this before in our commissary, but I'd never looked either. And it does say on this recipe, look for shelf-stable silken tofu in the Asian food section, or near the shelf-stable soy milk in your commissary, or you can use 1 1/3 cups refrigerated silken tofu instead. And that's exactly where I found this, was in the Asian section of the commissary right on the shelf. Okay, so it is there and it is available in your commissary. Okay, so I think that's important. Again, I'm not using anything ingredient-wise that you can't find here locally. Okay, nothing crazy and outrageous. And I really, really recommend this little gadget. It's only about a $40 investment, but it makes meal prep a heck of a lot easier for chopping vegetables or blending up things. So just a little inexpensive chopper / blender. So we're going to blend up the tofu in here for a little bit. We're going to stir up our chocolate. You want to take the chocolate out after the first minute, give it a little stir. And don't waste chocolate. And keep doing it gradually so that you don't end up with a big melted ball of chocolate. So we're just going to blend this up till it's smooth. And again, you could use a hand mixer or whatever type of blender that you have. I'll let you guys fight over who's going to like this. And then we have some maple syrup, just pure maple syrup, sweetened here. We're going to add in here as well. And this is on the shelf in the commissary right by the pancake syrups. And some pure vanilla. Hard yet, right? The great thing about this recipe is that not only you get something sweet, something yummy, the dark chocolate, but the tofu is just a bean curd. Okay, so it absorbs every flavor or any flavor you put to it. It's really moist, so it's going to give you that moist texture, but it's also going to give you some good healthy protein. So how often do you have dessert that you're getting some good protein out of? Okay, now you are. So dessert can be a treat, but also good for you. All right, that smells good. Frozen raspberries from the commissary, but right now you can get fresh, pretty inexpensive compared to other times of the year. The raspberries are so full of the antioxidants, so they're very good for you to add wherever you can. And then we're going to add a little bit of confection sugar. If you all that know me, you know I'm not big on sugar. I typically use Splenda in most recipes instead of that. But I hadn't tried this recipe, so I wanted to do it this way first. But you can definitely do that, use a sugar substitute, but it's a little amount, so. Scrape down the sides, make sure you got everything in there, and then one more quick. Make chocolate pie. Looks like me, you'll have chocolate all over you, but that's okay. You get to lick it off later, right? This is a graham cracker crust. You can buy the low fat or low sugar ones at the commissary as well to save on some calories. This recipe is just with a regular crust. When you look at the nutrition information, it's with a regular crust there. So again, you can make some changes and make it a little bit healthier even than it already is for you. I might share this one. This bowl. Easy peasy, right? And then of course, then you just let that sit in the refrigerator for about 2 hours and top it with some fresh raspberries. And you have dessert. Don't worry, I'll let you guys try some in just a bit, okay? We're going to put this one in the fridge so you come back tomorrow and have another piece. Right? Piece of cake, right? Piece of pie, yes. Again, and those raspberries, full of those antioxidants, help protect your cells against oxidative damage and cancers. Okay, so we're ready to move on to a main dish now? All right. Again, everything is from the commissary here, okay? So keep that in mind. These fresh green beans, very inexpensive. This whole meal, if you look at it, costs $2.77 at the supermarket or $1.75 per serving when you buy at the commissary. So it's still relatively inexpensive. You're getting good protein, good vegetables, lean meat out of this also, okay? The green beans were 99 cents a pound, so it can go a long way for those fresh vegetables. All right, so we're just going to warm up a little bit of olive oil. And the olive oil is the fat to this recipe, but it's the healthier fats, okay? So we want to make sure to use the healthier fats, like in the olive oil. My stove gets super hot. You're all familiar with the old authors, the total opposite, so learning to adjust. And we're going to add some paprika and some garlic. Put our green beans. You can steam them. This is in a steamer pan, or you can microwave them, or you can boil them. Steaming is the way to retain the most nutrients in your vegetables. So if you're able to do that, that's the preferred method for cooking your vegetables. If you do boil them or microwave them, just try to use the liquid in other parts before you're cooking, okay?
Can you use like garlic powder and stuff like that to mince garlic?
Sure. And I use the jarred minced garlic, so that's fine as well, because that way it's always in your refrigerator, okay? If you're worried about some fresh always having fresh ingredients, some of the things you can cheat a little bit with, okay? So we're going to add, stir that up, and then we're going to add our shrimp. One thing, our commissary did not have the fresh shrimp, but these are just the frozen, already peeled shrimp in the freezer section. I'm just going to brown those for a few minutes. I did. Thaw them out first. Shrimp gets a bad rap sometimes, or shellfish, because of the cholesterol content, but because they're so low in fat, the cholesterol content is not really that significant if you prepare it in a low-fat manner and have a moderate portion. Okay, does that make sense? So, you know, a couple dozen fried shrimp is a big difference between, you know, a serving of shrimp like we're preparing it now with different seasonings and herbs and such. Okay. We're going to let our shrimp cook for about 2 minutes on each side, stirring that up a little bit. Then we're going to stir in our beans. These are cannellini beans. Again, canned, and I just rinse them to reduce the sodium in the beans. So anytime you buy anything canned, it's typically going to be higher in sodium for the preserving it. And you just rinse it through a strainer to remove that extra sodium. And again, really good protein. Then any kind of dry beans or peas, even if you buy them canned, it's really good protein.